It's showtime.
Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another spooky Halloween video. Tonight we're going to be taking a look at the Spirit Halloween two-headed skeleton snake. This is a poseable snake. As you can see, I have it sort of posed in this kind of curled up sort of attack pose. That's the only way I could really get it to fit in frame here, but I'm going to cut off the tag here so we can get into what we need to get into. But to move this guy, right, his head is like a hard material, right? And then his body is a sort of like really thick, kind of bendable, like I guess rubber material, I guess you would call it. So you can like bend the snake and position it however you want. You twist the tails, do whatever you want. But I'm not really trying to get this guy unraveled, because he is massive. I mean, look at all of this kind of like snake body here. Like, that's huge. So there's the snake. The heads here are really cool. You can see like a lot of detail. Like there's a little bit of dry brushing on the head. You can see that it has the jaw here. This part feels like it's gonna come loose. I don't like that. I might just glue that in place. I mean, it's not coming out. It just feels like loose here. But you can see the eye holes, and you can see the nostril holes even though they're not painted. You can see cracks and, you know, crevices. It's a little bit dry brushed here, like I said, so there's a lot of detail that's kind of popping up because of the dry brushing, and also it makes it look kind of old and withered. And then the back here, you can see the vertebrae with like little spikes there, and then the individual vertebrae. And then, as you can see, it goes from being hard to being this weird kind of it goes from being hard to being like this rubber sort of plastic. And then obviously the head here is on a joint, then moving into the actual body of the snake. This is really cool. Obviously, I bought this for a very specific reason. I bought this two-headed skeleton snake because I am doing a sort of pet cemetery, pet graveyard theme for my kind of haunt this year. So I needed to get all kinds of like animal skeletons and zombie animals and tombstones to kind of make that come true. I haven't put anything up yet. I'm still in the midst of grabbing stuff like the skeleton snake here with two heads. Really cool. Like, I love that this is just poseable. Like, there's so much you could do with this, getting all kinds of crazy poses. But even going into the body here, you can see that there's a lot of, like, I guess, dry brushing here. There's lots of details, like bits of like bone have come off, revealing this sort of stringy bits of cartilage. Like, it really wants to like brighten this up. So I don't know how much detail we're gonna get in here because of the flash, but you can see it's kind of dry brushed, made it look all withered and dirty, as this is not a clean snake. It's probably been in the ground for a while before becoming resurrected to come and get you. I like to think that these two snakes have like different personalities, similar to like King Ghidorah from Godzilla King of the Monsters, where each of the heads have its own personality. One thing I do have to say that's sort of negative about these guys here is I wish that the heads or like the necks were articulated, so you could like pose the necks in different ways. You could have like this guy looking like forward, or having this guy looking up, or have him looking down. It would look cool, but you know, they don't give us that option. The head is just kind of stuck. The two heads are kind of stuck in just this one looking side and then looking to the other side way. You don't really get to have a choice of where the heads are positioned. But it's a cool snake. Definitely the vertebrae, all the detail here, it looks cool. It looks awesome. Like, this looks like it's an old two-headed snake skeleton. And then the thing with the two heads, that might be interesting. That you might think that that's kind of weird, and why does it have two heads? I like to believe, that there's some lore about this guy, that maybe somebody took, a snake and put it together wrong, and where like they gave it two heads for some reason. I don't know why you would make such a horrible mistake like that of giving a snake two heads, but I mean, that could be something that could explain why it has two heads. Or maybe this is just a snake that had the disfigurement. I mean, this happens in the wild occasionally, where animals are born with two heads. I mean, they don't survive very long because they have two heads. But, there's a lot of stuff that could explain why it has two heads. But with that being said, I'm going to go into some comparisons. Don't go away. There'll be more review to be had. For comparison, these are rather big skeletons. Here is the Spirit Halloween two-headed skeleton snake next to the three-headed dog skeleton from Canadian Tire. But that pretty much wraps up Spirit Halloween's poseable two-headed skeleton snake. I actually scared two kids on my way out of Spirit Halloween with this. They thought this was a real living snake, and I'm like, no, it's a dead snake. Or is it? But yeah, two-headed skeleton snake looks awesome. I love the posability feature because it makes it so that you can have various options when it comes to displaying this guy in your theme. I'm personally going to have him sort of curled up like this, underneath a tombstone, because that's basically what I need him for, is he's going to be a sort of undead animal rising from my pet cemetery this Halloween. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Happy haunts, and I'll see you in the next spooky video.